So, folks, Ryan Walters out in Oklahoma is the superintendent, but I like to refer to him as a bootlicker because I have never seen anybody that wants so badly to be part of MAGA. And it's like he's still really not all that popular. I mean, we talk about him a lot here on the channel, but he's really not that mainstream. But he's trying so hard to be. He is trying so hard. He's like the musician that just can't seem to be, quite as up to par, but he wants to be on every single show that there is. That's pretty much Ryan Walters to me. It's like he wishes that he would have been as popular as Charlie Kirk. He wishes that he would be as popular as Trump. And so he sits there and he says stupid shit like this and forces his radical beliefs onto everyone else in the state of Oklahoma. We're going to show this clip. We're going to read an article, and we're going to talk more about some statistics that Ryan Walters won't like the sound of. But here he is just trying so hard to be part of the MAGA movement by kissing the ass of Turning Point USA and saying that they're going to have chapters in every school. Take a look.
I'm excited to announce today that every Oklahoma high school will have a Turning Point USA chapter. We have seen the outpouring from parents, teachers, and students that want to be engaged in the meaningful work going on at Turning Point. They want their young people to be engaged in a process that understands free speech, open engagement, dialogue about American greatness, a dialogue around American values. We're so excited to partner with Turning Point USA with this initiative. For far too long, we have seen radical leftists with the teachers union dominate classrooms and push woke indoctrination on our kids. They fight parents' rights. They push parents out of the classroom, and they lie to our kids about American history. What we're going to continue to do is make sure that our kids understand American greatness, engage in civic dialogue, and have that open discussion. We will continue to do all that we can to make sure Oklahoma students have the best education possible.
I can't help but wonder if Ryan Walters would be cool with us pitching a tent at every school in Oklahoma and every church and standing up and saying everything we can against him. I wonder if he would be okay, if he would be open to that dialogue, if we just went to every church and every school in Oklahoma and we just put up a tent, sat under it, and handed people microphones and said, hey, we're here to tell you that your religion is bullshit. Hey, we're here to tell you that there's no scientific evidence for the bullshit you spew. Hey, we're here to tell you that the racist shit you say today was racist when it was uttered hundreds of years ago, and it's still racist today, no matter how you try to push it on the kids. I wonder if they would be open for that dialogue. I doubt very seriously that he would, but he loves to use the word woke indoctrination, these woke teachers pushing their ideas. And yet he wants to turn around and bring in a radical, far-right, extremist bunch of bullshit into public schools in Oklahoma, who, by the way, I pulled up some stats, and Oklahoma ranks 50th out of 51 locations, 50 states plus D.C., for its public school system, according to a 2025 report that focused on quality and safety. The 2024 Kids Count report placed Oklahoma 49th for its education rank based on 2022 data. Other key factors: low test scores. Oklahoma consistently ranks in the bottom 10 for test scores in reading and math. The high school dropout rate is also high, ranking among the lowest nationally. State education board members have pointed to failure to prioritize hiring certified teachers as a significant reason for the low rankings. But I really do believe this guy is nothing more than somebody who's dying so much. He would love to be I guarantee you he's just butthurt that he's not got to be a guest yet on, or a guest host yet on Turning Point. Eventually he probably will be if he just keeps licking those boots. That's how you got to do it in this world to get ahead. For those of us that refuse to, we sit over on the sidelines and watch morons like Ryan Walters move to the front. But this guy is just so full of shit, and he's always kind of funny for me to cover because it's just so easy for him to sit there and say, this is what we are about, but there's no way that he could take it if we turned it and said, well, here's what we're about. He's not the type of person, I don't think he wants to have the open dialogue, because if he was capable of raising his kids the way that he wants them to be raised, they would grow up but they don't, because he's afraid for his kid to be taught anything outside of his doctrine. He's afraid for his kids' eyes to be open. He's afraid for his kids to be awake and see through his bullshit. And that's why he's trying to shield them from woke indoctrination. That's the moral of the story here, folks. And I really don't have to read the article to you. I really don't have to do that to tell you that this is what this guy is all about. He doesn't want his outdated ideas to be exposed by someone else. And he's afraid that one day his kids will turn around and go, you know what? I don't really buy into your bullshit. I don't buy into the bullshit that was spewed by these people who pulled up a tent at one of our schools and tried to act like they were trying to have an open dialogue. I don't buy into what you're saying. And I think as time goes on, the only thing that I've said that if there's any silver lining to all this, I do believe that a lot of this is going to bring reasonable people together. I believe that a lot of reasonable people on all sides of the political spectrum are going to go, you know what, this has gone too far. We have to come together. I'm not trying to throw brownie points necessarily to Joe Rogan or Ted Cruz or people like that. But when you hear them saying, hey, this has gone too far, hey, this wouldn't be good if it was reversed on us, at least there's a middle ground somewhere there that we can find with people. And so eventually I do believe that the more extreme this gets, the further we get into this administration 2.0, the further we get into this, we're only 9 months in. Imagine after we've had another 3 years, I hate to say that, I'm not trying to bring down the room, but I'm just saying, imagine after another 3 years of this bunch of bullshit, if we're all still standing and we all still have platforms and we all still have a voice and we can be heard, imagine the people who are going to be ready to vote then. And imagine the people, I mean, if you caught yourself agreeing with Ted Cruz and Ben Shapiro here lately, I know that we're not going to agree with them on a whole lot else, and I wouldn't never, fully trust them as far as I could throw any of them. But when you catch yourself agreeing with people like that, you know that it's gone too far. And Ryan Walters is an extremist. His views are extreme, and he's trying his damnedest to force them on everybody else. His idea of American greatness is to take all of the things that we tried to grow out of and bring them back. The way that he looks at it, he has a totally distorted view on America. He doesn't understand that the founding fathers, they may have quoted the Bible from time to time, but a lot of them weren't the type of Christian that he claims to be, and they wanted there to be a separation of church and state. He completely missed that meeting. He has a radical way of looking at things, and now he's turning to one of the most radical organizations and wanting to put chapters of that in schools. And I've also, from my understanding, make it to where if a school tried to opt out, then he would come after that school. And that's absolutely him trying to force his beliefs. And I really do believe the reason they're trying to force these beliefs so hard is because they're scared to death of becoming irrelevant. And we can make them irrelevant peacefully by using our words to outweigh their words. We condemn political violence. It's never the answer. No one should ever do that. We didn't want to see people lose their lives. And yes, I've decided to not mention that dude's name for a while, okay? Because we're not going to turn people like that into heroes. We're going to say we're sorry that what happened to them. We condemn political violence, but they're not heroes. And you can put up chapters in every school around this country, and we will never buy into it. Because those ideas were bad the first time they were uttered, and they've always been bad, and so therefore they're never going to age well. Ryan Walters and his rhetoric will never age well because it was never good to start with. And I think that's what we have to keep sight of. And I think we have to keep moving this country forward and moving the conversation forward. But when they come at you and say that they're about having open dialogue and open discussion, I doubt very seriously that he would want to have a conversation if we pitched a tent at his church or just put a pop-up tent and sit under it and here's your mic, buddy. I really don't think that he would want to sit there with us because I don't think he's about open dialogue. I think he is about rewriting American history in his radical, distorted view, and we have to stand against that.